Hi, this is PBK and we're going to be disassembling the Moto X Pure Edition 2015, which is also known as the XT1575. First thing you're going to do is take the SIM popper tool that comes with it. You're going to pop your SIM tray open. Either take a blow dryer or a heat gun. You're going to heat up the back a little bit so you could pry off the back cover. You take your SIM card popping tool. There's a small hole over here. Right there. You're going to put it in there, not all the way, just enough to get grip underneath the cover. And then once you lift it up, I suggest using a guitar pick or any flat plastic tool you may have, or a pry tool, so you don't damage the housing. Stick it underneath. Take your SIM card tool out, and then you work your way around, gently prying off the back. You can apply more heat as needed. Okay, once you have the back cover off, I'm gonna move that aside. You have 20 T4 screws all around the housing. They're gonna be all around, and there's gonna be one over here next to the camera. It's a little bit hidden, you have to look inside it. We're gonna take those off. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna take off the rubber cover over the battery connector. Once you got that off, you can either use your guitar pick or your plastic pry tool, gently pop off the battery connector. Once you got that off, there's a rubber cover over here, also on the top. Get that guy off too. And then this flex cable over here, which goes to the flash, is connected on the main board over here. You can use a small flathead or something to help you pry it off. Now that it's off, there's a cover over here over this connector over here. You're gonna have to pry it off with your tweezers. It's like just a clear tape. Just peel it off. And once you take that off, pop open this lock, the white lock, just lift it up. Once it's up, you can pry up on this flex cable over here a little bit because it has some adhesive underneath it. And then you can use your hand to gently work that cable out. Also, we're gonna use our tool to go underneath the flash, which is held on by a little bit of adhesive underneath it. Now you have the flash sticking up. And then you have two catches over here, on the bottom left and on the bottom right. You can use a flathead to release those catches. And then once you pop those tabs, you can work your way around with your guitar pick or your pry tool. And it just pops off. So this is your back assembly with your battery on it. You have your headphone jack up here. And here's your main board with your LCD flex cable right here. Your main camera. This is your front facing camera over here. Here's your SIM card slot with your SD card also. And here's the bottom speaker. Okay, we're going to start off by getting the protective tape off the connectors with the tweezers. We're going to take the one off the camera connector as well. You could pop off the locks for the tabs for the connectors. Then you're going to use your guitar pick or pry tool. Gently lift up. It has some adhesive underneath this cable. And then it's connected over here on the board. Right here. Pop off the connector. Once you pop that off, you're going to move this cable over. And then get your camera that faces the front side out of its socket. It's next to the earpiece speaker. You have one small T4 screw over here. You're going to need to take that off too. I didn't see that one. Now, here you have the main board. We're going to remove the LCD cable. So here's your LCD assembly. And here's your main board. You have a speaker over here. So now we're going to reassemble it. Take your main board. You're going to put in your LCD flex cable. Once you put the cable in, lock the tab so it stays in place. Once your board is in place, you can put that T4 screw back on the bottom. Alright, once tight, put this cable back over. Press gently to reattach the adhesive and pop on the connector back onto the board. Lock your camera tab. Now we're going to put the protective tapes back on. Okay, now that the tapes are back in place, we're going to put the back assembly over. Pop in those two tabs on the bottom, which are over here, on the bottom edges. Okay. Once those are in, start putting your screws back in. Okay, once you got all your screws in, what you're gonna do is put this flex cable back in this connector. Once it's in, you're gonna lock it in place. And we're gonna pop this flex cable back in its connector. Just push it in and it snaps on. Put the flash back, just press gently on it. And then you're going to reconnect the power connector, just push it in. And then you're going to put your rubber pieces for the covers back in their places. And then the bottom one for battery connector. Alright, in order to put the back cover back on, you're going to probably need new adhesive, which you would apply around the edges of the phone on the back, and then you put some down in the middle, and then once you put your adhesive on, all you do is attach your back, and then you press down firmly, ensuring it's got a nice bond. And then you put your SIM slot back in, make sure you put it in the right way. Another thing to note, the SIM tray itself, it has the SD card underneath it, and it says SIM 1. So I'm assuming there's an international version which has dual SIM, since there's a slot over here underneath it, but it's just covered by plastic, you could pry up that plastic and it has another SIM slot underneath it. Once you put your SIM tray back in, you can power on the phone and you're done.